It will suck, but if you want to think faster in English, then you're in the right place. And it starts with these P's.
That's right, P's. You see, when you try to think in English, your brain does this. Everything's there. You've got enough P's. They just won't flow.
So between your idea and your words, there's a gap. And in a fast conversation, that's the gap that kills you. So you don't need more English.
You just need to warm this up a bit.
Let's do it. But first, I think I see somebody in the garden.
Thanks, John. We'll get back to those P's in a minute. But first, I brought you into the garden because it's a great place to think about thinking. Got a question for you.
Do you ever wish you could think in English?
Well, I've discovered something that might surprise you. You don't actually need to think faster in English because you don't think in any language.
What do you mean we don't think in language? We're trying to think faster in English here.
That's right. You think in thoughts. Let me show you. If I ask you to close your eyes and imagine you're walking to your local shop. You don't hear a voice saying, turn left, then go straight for 200 meters and turn right at the end of the road. You just see it in your mind. That's how thinking works. Language comes after, when you have to describe it to someone else. So the real problem isn't I can't think fast in English, it's that you can't convert your thoughts into English fast enough. It might sound like a small difference, but we need to be precise and make sure we're training the right skill. Now, haven't you got some frozen peas that you have to deal with?
Thanks, John. Now that we've cleared that up, let's fix it. Let's warm up your peas. Because a runner before a race warms up and stretches their muscles. A singer before a concert does vocal exercises to warm up their voice. And before a meeting in English, you roll out of bed and onto Teams and expect to perform.
Oh, it's only 9:58. Still got 2 minutes to get online.
No, get up now. You still have time for your warm-up.
Okay, what do I need to do?
Well, first thing, as Taylor Swift said, shake it off. I just want to shake, 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 shake. A physical shake works wonders. You might even throw in a few press-ups or star jumps. I've started doing it before I record these videos, and even though it's well past my bedtime, see how good and energetic I sound. You might feel a bit weird, but it 100% works to loosen you up and remove some of that nervous energy. That's the easy bit, now for the hard part.
Oh, it sounds like it's gonna suck.
Hear me out, it's not too bad. I call it the 30-second prediction drill. That's right, you only need 30 seconds.
Well, I still have time.
That's right. Before every meeting, record a 30-second video on your phone where you predict what's about to happen. Here's exactly what you're going to do. First, predict the conversation. Who's going to speak the most? What are they going to say? And are there any potential arguments or disagreements? And next, what's your opinion? What do you think should happen? What would you argue if asked? And what good, strong points could you make? Something like this.
I'm about to go into the big sales meeting. That John guy I want to dominate, as usual. He's going to tell me to redesign the sales page, and I completely disagree. I'm going to say that a marginal improvement in our conversion rate pales into insignificance if we can double the amount of traffic to our sales page. Yeah, that'll shut him up. Are you sure this is going to work?
This is why it's going to work. Think about a meeting. People interrupt, they go off topic, and they ask you questions that you weren't ready for. And the truth is you can't prepare for everything.
But if you're starting from frozen and you're already behind, the 30-second prediction drill warms you up.
So you can go from a frozen block to a confident, free-flowing pea. Oh yeah.
That's powerful, but there's more. Now, you're not just faster, you're organised. When you do the prediction drill, you start organising your ideas into points using language. You have your ideas for points that you can make, and you have some language ready to make your point, like the vocabulary and the grammar that you're going to need. So in the meeting, when things are getting spicy, you're not searching.
You're talking about a marginal improvement in conversion rate, John. That's insignificant when compared to the upside of doubling our traffic.
Wow. So thinking fast in English isn't really about speed. It's about giving yourself less to think about.
Oh, I wish I could just have a little think in my head, maybe make a few notes. But I know deep down that the 30-second prediction drill and making a little video of myself is the only way to truly mobilise my English brain. I'm so glad I subscribed to that cool English guy. But this is going to absolutely suck.
Who wants to record themselves? I said it was going to suck, and of course it is. What do you normally do in those couple of minutes before a big meeting? Scroll on your phone, stare into space and question your whole existence, start panicking. And I'm telling you to record a video. So you've got to overcome some mental resistance. But that's the beauty of it. When you overcome that resistance, you get the rewards. Now, I know what you're thinking. You always get these types of tips on YouTube and you think, oh, that sounds cool. But you never actually do anything. But this time's different. I can tell you're convinced it's a good idea. But do you think you could actually do this? And could you make it a habit? Well, maybe you could.
You've probably heard of this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. You might have even read it. I'm like halfway through, sort of fell out of the habit of reading. But even in the first half, there are 2 micro habits that'll help you stick to this.
1, make it easy. There was a guy online that got ripped doing 1 push-up a day. 'Twas I. No, it wasn't me. And of course you can't get ripped doing 1 push-up a day. The point is, when he got on the floor and pushed his sorry self up, he thought,
Now that I'm down here, I might as well do a few more.
and before he knew it, he was ripping out 50 push-ups for breakfast. So when you make your habit easy to achieve, you're more likely to stick to it. That's why I called it the 30-second prediction drill, not the 10-minute prediction drill. We've all got 30 seconds. Second one, it's about consistency. But the problem with consistency is it's like a Duolingo streak. I had a Duolingo streak going and I was doing it 10 minutes a day quite happily.
Bonjour, madame.
But then I lost my streak and I gave up completely. I went from hero to 0. That's why you don't have to do this before every meeting, because we both know that's not going to happen. But maybe you could try it once. And if you like it, then you could do it once a day. I mean, if you have 30 seconds to spare, that is. Don't worry if you miss. Just get back on board as soon as you can. So now you're the most prepared person in the meeting. But here's the interesting part. Even if the conversation goes in a completely different direction, you'll still speak faster because your brain is already switched on and your English is flowing like a bag of warm peas. But there is still something holding you back. That thought that I'll never sound as good as a native speaker. So watch this video next to destroy that thought and find out your secret advantage over the natives.